All right, welcome back to the spare bedroom at my parents' house. Okay, so someone asked me in the comments, do I do a block schedule? Do I do a loop schedule? And so I'm going to give you the short rundown of what I do. I'm a little winded, I ran up the stairs. Okay, so now a couple things to keep in mind. I want my children ready for school, ready for college by 12. That doesn't mean that if it doesn't happen, that's okay. That's fine. But that's kind of my goal. I read this book that I've told you guys about on the channel before, called College by 12, because it is possible. And when I mean college, I don't mean I'm dropping them off and like, see you. No, I mean like sitting next to me doing an online course. But so educationally, I think my kids will be ready. As to whether emotionally they'll be ready, I don't know. And that's okay if they're not, right? And I'm only talking one class, so I'm not putting this undue pressure on them. So we have an easy schedule that we do, and it's gentle, but it's pretty, it's thorough. We homeschool all year round, but not a lot. It doesn't take a lot of time. We do reading, writing, math almost every day, because let me give you a rundown. Got a bunch of books to show you in what we're doing right now. I split it up into about 6 weeks to 2 month increments. So every 2 months I go and I take a look, okay, what do I want to focus on the next 2 months? So basically for the school year, what I would do is I pick out the curriculum that I want for the year. So I use curriculum from everybody. I use secular, I use Christian, I use from a variety of different schools because I've tried almost all of it. And so I've decided what I really like. I don't do wasted time. And my kids, because they're neurodiverse, there's really no difference between them and other children for the most part, except for handwriting. They don't excel at handwriting, and we don't do a lot of handwriting. So what I would do, for example, this is the science text that we are currently working through. I went through about 6 science curriculums this year. So at lunch, breakfast or lunch or snack time, it depends. One of the meals during the day, I usually teach a science lesson. So I read from a textbook, and it has to be an interesting textbook because otherwise what's the point? You're just sitting there reading. But I pick out the main points, and then I'll make a spreadsheet and put it in a binder. The main points of what I want them to remember, because not all stuff you need to remember. Like some of it's freaking useless, right? Like that's just curriculum you don't have to remember it all depending on what area of science that you're going into or what area of life you're going into. You don't need to know it all. But to make it easy to remember, I use mnemonic devices. So I've showed you my binders before, and because I'm moving, they are packed away. So I do not have them right now, but I have other things. So let me give you a rundown of my day. Okay, so is that what I wanted to show? Okay, so step one, I'm gonna show you quite a bit of products. Normally I show you a product of the day because I am the homeschool shopping channel, so thank you for tuning in. Now, I am a lazy but efficient homeschooler, if I ever did say so. So one of the things I do is, this is what we're working on now. So this is our memorization card. This is from Classical Conversations. This is cycle 1. There's cycle 1, 2, and 3. And what I do is I say, okay, what are the classifications of living things? And they read it off to me every day. Like you can do it during breakfast. Now, when I say every day, I don't hit every single day. There's some days that I have forgotten about them, that they are buried under a pile of books. And I'm like, oh, wait. As I go to clean up, I'm like, I remember those things. Oh, yes, that's what we're working on. So the main point is that even though my children are young, approximately grade 1 through 4, we'll say, around there, because some subjects higher, some subjects lower, is when they get old enough to utilize this information, the whole point of Classical Conversations is that it'll be in their long-term memory, so they don't have to learn how to memorize it and put it in their long-term memory and learn how to utilize it. They will only have to know how to utilize it because it will be in their long-term memory. And again, they're not really tested on this stuff. This is just something at this time that we do. So they read it to me, and I will read it to them, and I'll say, what is this? And they say, the classification of living things. Okay. It has more of an explanation on the back. These cards are $14. There's the science ones. There's the Latin ones, which I don't use. There's quite a few different ones, although I will be using Latin because it's easier to teach kids vocabulary and spelling if they are aware of the Latin stuff where it comes from, because there's usually a story attached to it, but that's different video, people, different video. I am not there yet. Okay. Now, so there's also music cards. So like we have, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, because my son went to a concert with my mom and they were doing some Mozart. So I pulled this out to read, and not that interesting, but whatever. I'll put it back. Okay. So then we're also doing history. Right now we're listening to the story of the world when we drive around. We'll put on the story of the world, or once in a while I'll put it on. It's pretty interesting. Both children seem to enjoy it. So these are the cards. Can you see them? So it's basically in order. There's numbers on the back. So Age of Ancient Empires comes first. Just so history, they have like a range of what happened. Flood in the Tower of Babel, Mesopotamia and Sumer. And what I really like is I've used a lot of history curriculums. So there are other curriculums that provide, so these don't work on their own is my mind. I mean, you can if you want. But we just do a lot of history curriculums because my son has a very big passion for it and I have an interest in it. So, but anyway, Mesopotamia, Sumer, Egypt, the Egyptians. So they don't have to memorize the date. I just pull these out and we go through them just because there's also the timeline songs for classical conversations. It is on, you can get it on Apple. You can also get it on YouTube. Just Google the classifications. Or no, the timeline song by Classical Conversations. It's a freaking great song. It's like 14 minutes because it goes to the timeline of the world. Very great. Anyway, so we go through these because when we're studying history, like all the different curriculums, because history, you go through the story of the world and then you can go through it again. And then you can go through, like last year we did a lot of studying on America based on a couple different curriculums. But again, I split it up into time periods and then, okay, I'm digressing. So I go over these cards. These are what I want them to learn. So not every day do I do physics, for example. This is Real Science for Kids, one of my favorite curriculums. This is the Focus On series. The Focus On series, elementary physics, okay? So grades K through 4. Anytime during K through 4, you can let them listen. So I have it bookmarked where we are. What is physics? So it's got like the history of physics, and then it's got the physician's toolbox. It does this for every subject that it has. Then it's got push and pull. So types of energy. What can I show you here that's kind of interesting? So see how it's got a few sentences and some pictures. So, I mean, it really relates it to what you're talking about. But everyday physics, we were talking about the other day about inertia. Where is inertia? Inertia, so force. And then at the end of it, energy, so chemical energy. So force is that. Energy is something that gives the ability to do work. And then in the next one, it talks about type of energy. So the summary here, a force is an action that changes the location of an object or the shape of an object or how fast or slowly an object is moving. That sentence, I may put with force, the definition force, into a Canva page that I made in Canva with some type of picture, because the picture is what kind of triggers like the mnemonic device. And then once a week, I would essentially read through like the definitions in our memory book. It's kind of like a memory binder, which I've showed you many, many times. Okay, so this is the physics that I'm going through right now, or the science I'm going through right now. This is not Christian, just so you know, and you're prepared for that. I do both. So the everyday reading, writing, math, they are not ahead in writing. It is not a thing. You'll see from looking at it. This is, he is approximately grade 2. Again, neurodiverse, writing is not his strength. But I'm starting to do table work with them. So this is Handwriting Without Tears. The reason, but you can, of course, just print stuff off the internet. But it's only $14 for this whole book anyway, like when I bought it. But I'm starting to do table work with them. This is the first year, they are 7 and 9, that have started implementing table work. The reason I implement table work is because I want them to be able to sit down and do work with me. So one of the things they do every day is they do handwriting. They'll do a few pages in here. Now, another thing that we have just been doing just to do it is the student map skills. This is from Rebecca. Again, I have tons of curriculum stuff, so we might as well use it. And so when we sit down at the table with one of them, or with both of them actually, so now they do not write the answers. They tell me the answers. So that's why it's like, oh, but have you really used it? Yeah. They tell me the answers. Okay, so this book, I want to say it's $20. Usually Abeka books are $20. I do not have the teacher's manual. When then they're young, like in grades 1 through 4, I find you don't really need the teacher's manuals for stuff. Yeah. Because then, like, say, so it has write the state names. Well, then, yeah, I might have to pull out a map to figure those out. Like, that's okay, because my kid's doing it right next to me, because it's his job to figure it out, right? Or the next page has a map. But anyway, so that's just something to do. But then my other son is working on, did I bring it up? I don't even think I brought it up. I know, the world's messiest room, but that's me. If you've tuned in before, it's just nothing to do. Okay, so then we do reading, writing, and math. Now, reading, I want to tell you about reading. I am torn today, and today I was talking to my youngest because this is the Abeka reading system, and I love it for when they get a bit older. I don't really like the first years, the learning one. This is the craft right brain readers that went through a flood, so it's a little rough. that teaches them to read. This is level C, so this is the third book. It is freaking fantastic to teach kids to read. It is so easy, you wouldn't believe it. I have showed you many, many videos, so I don't want to show you inside level 1C, because if you're missing like level 1A or B, like it doesn't give you the system. Like you're not seeing the system. It's it's $14 for a book, I think, and $10 for flashcards to go along with it. I'm telling you, at 7 years old, I taught them both to read each one when they turn 7. Super easy to teach them using these books. So my one son uses the books. The other son, those books seem really, really easy, so I put him on these and started reading with these, and I am torn. I don't really like this system. The reason I don't like it is because it feels like these are CL and BL, but sometimes it feels like there's no rhyme or reason for some of these words that they have chosen. So this is 1B. Anyway, back to we do reading, writing, math every day. But like some of these, bones, yoke, dimes, is, cute, and fuss, you read those words first, and words to watch for too. Like, I don't get it. It just seems like there's no rhyme or reason to these. That's not to say it's a good system. It's just not an easy system. Not an easy system. And my son that learned on that really easy, he's a pretty voracious reader now, and he can read a lot of other stuff. So this really does, once you get the basics in this, you really don't need like the full system. They really take off. And I was planning on switching him to these, and I will. But higher up, I'm not going to start him back at 1B, the older child. And the child that's learning on this, it's just, this is independent. Like they can read they'll be able to read on their own very quickly. Like 1C and 1B, he reads on his own. Whereas this child, no, you got to sit there because it's like plum seeds, but like they've never really learned the word plum. But so it's just a different system, right? There's a ton of sounding out in this. But my son, so I was asking him, and he reads that so easily. And I asked him today, because I had him read both, and I said, like, which one do you like better? And he said he would like this. He finds it easier to read, which I don't know how. Really, I'm telling you, some of these were, like, I get it, but dry, drag, drill, drives, brush, bruise, brick, break. It's just, so it is good. It is good. But it's just not my favorite system. Probably because it could be just like that it's not as easy to me, right? Like maybe that's just easy to implement. So that's why I like it better. But still, both are good systems. But this one, when you get up into 2 and you get, even towards the one, like D and E, the morals and the values in these books are amazing. That's why I like them. So every day, reading, writing, math, and then I'll choose different subjects. And then we have every snack or food time. Anytime food is served, for the most part, I'm reading to them. So right now it's a ton of library books. Like we did Oliver Twist I found at the library. So we do like a lot of classic stories too. Just whatever I find at the library, or book lists. I do a million book lists. Because again, we're back to getting about like 100 books a week. I don't know about 100, but a lot. But instead of TV at mealtimes, it's me reading. So I don't always eat with them. And then in the evening, it's usually the Bible, but I packed it away, which fine. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know. I guess because my mom's here, so because we're staying with my mom till our furniture arrives, maybe in a week, maybe. So she can reach them in the evening sometimes. So anyway, it just depends. There you go. So that's my schedule. So yeah, I take the curriculum and I say, okay, now we haven't done this subject yet. We haven't done social studies yet. We haven't done this older math. I didn't explain to you their math. Their math, I use the synthesis tutor, which I didn't want to use. For years, I put it off. And it's $55 a month for your family, or $35 for one kid. Now, here's the thing, is it's an amazing teacher. I will tell you, it is an amazing teacher. And it's completely hands-off for you, because it is smart enough to deduce what your child knows and doesn't know. And I'm telling you, I have every math curriculum, or I had every math curriculum. I tried every math curriculum, and the best, I think, is primary mathematics. Is it primary mathematics? I haven't done it in like how long? And I just bought the next level up for primary mathematics. When, wouldn't you know it? I said, fine, just do the tutor. Let's try it. You could try it. And they really took to it. And now the youngest he's learning division, and he's 7. So it really can target and teach you directly. And the thing is that they have to do it every day, because I'm paying $55 a month. So for me, you got to do it every day. Every day it's got to be done. every day. Just do some. I don't say specifically we have to do one lesson, you have to do this. No, just spend some time doing it. And at some point I may interact and be like, okay, 10 minutes or okay, 20 minutes. I don't know, whatever. But right now they spend a decent amount of time doing it, especially if you're like, no, you can't be on your iPad, but you can play chess on there. Which if anyone has a good chess app that doesn't have ads, please let me know. They can do their chess app, or they can do Canva, or they can do like their math app. Well, then if they feel like sitting there and doing something, then they're going to do their math app. So whatever. Anyway, so reading, writing, math is done every day before they can go like and do electronic stuff or do, I don't know, fun stuff, if you will. It's got to be done. And it's on them. It's not really on me to force them to be like, do it. I do have to be available for them. And sometimes I'm like, well, sorry, you have to wait now because I'm in the middle of something. Or I'll say, hey, I'm available now if you guys want to do it now. But I'm going to be busy for an hour. And so we kind of negotiate almost in a way there. Like I'm just being honest, like, hey, you can either show up now. If you can't, then that's fine. Like whatever, entertain yourself all day. I don't know. Yeah, so I hope that helps. All right, talk to you later. Bye.